Puddin here with a game in my Arkansas beta. Fired up this ship because I was doing the ARP missions that required you to play Tier 4 or Tier 5. And I'm like, you know what, I might as well just fire up the beta, one of my favorite ships, and just play that because the highest tier it can see is Tier 5 with the new matchmaking that came out. Now, for those of you that did not know, the Arkansas beta was a reward ship given to anybody who played in the closed beta. It is, in essence, just a Wyoming, but the thing that separates it from the Wyoming is it has all 6 upgrade unlocks on it. So, i.e., you could get every single unlock the same as you could like for the Iowa and Montana. The trade-off being is this ship has no AA at all. Now, as you can see at the start of this game, the DDs wanted to go to B, and I feel on this particular map, the best thing to do is the group that spawns at A deal with A, and the group that goes to C deals with C. And just you'll eventually get B on the way from either going from A to C to help out there, or from C to A to help out there. Now the other thing is, you know, I keep forgetting sometimes at these lower tiers that not everybody truly knows how to play, and for all of us that do have a lot of games played and have a little bit more understanding, probably should have been a little bit more active in chat, and as far as encouraging, you know, not wanting to be that toxic person in chat, but to help the team, help out these new players. The other thing is there are 3 Arkansas betas in this game, and I haven't seen this many betas in one game since the game actually went live, so I did say something about that in chat. Now, the first ship that I see that I can actually shoot at was the Wicks and the St. Louis here, but I'm going to take my chances with the St. Louis over the Wicks and hope that our destroyer can deal with him. Lining up my shot, I take my shot, and oh man, do those things look good, and thinking of Citadel with 9,000 damage. Still respectable damage, very good damage. The other little thing is, this is my Montana captain in here.
The ship is on fire.
I don't believe he's an 18-point captain yet, but my Montana captain is the captain that I usually put in my beta, just to try to work him up to get up all those unlocks. Now I see the Izakazi, and I know, like, you know what, this guy may never be seen again for the rest of the game, so I will take my chances with him. Take my shot. Those all look, they looked a little like I looked too much, but as you can see, I got 2,000 damage with 1 penetration and overpens, so I was happy with that. I see the Kohlberg, and I forgot if this guy had torpedoes or not. That's one of my things with coming down to these lower tiers sometimes. I forget which ships have torpedoes and which don't, but set him for my AA to my A. I wish I had A. My secondary is to shoot at the Kohlberg, and 3,000 damage. Wish I could have nailed the Citadels, but I usually forget at these lower tiers not to shoot under the guns, to shoot in a boiler room.
Torpedoes to starboard.
Now at this point I know I'm in smoke, so I can heal up safely. I've got my secondaries trained on the Wicks to shoot him. And I see them coming. He's offering a lot of side. I'm going to wait for a shot. Hopefully I get a bunch of Citadels on him. He's definitely well within the acceptable range for this ship. Take the shot, and 23,000 damage, incapacitated a gun. But darn you, no citadels. Once again, my thing with these lower tiers is I usually do try to aim for under the guns when I should be really aiming for the boiler room. It's just, you know, a habit from the higher tiers. Secondaries are going to town on this enemy battleship. And I'm going to take another shot and, ooh, 8,000 damage. Wish it could have been more. And, yep, because reasons, those two shots just completely missed at 4 kilometers. Now, the other nice thing about the beta is it does have a lot of secondaries. But as you can see in them all shoot, they really don't hit very much. But it is nice to have them than to not. I'll take another shot and, ooh, there we go. There's the Citadel. He's gone. He's out of the map. And as you can see there, I finally got my head out of my butt and aimed for the boilers. And as you can see, that's where I got my lovely Citadel. Well, so far the team did an excellent job at capping A, keeping the enemy off. We are down 3 ships to their, well, no, make that 4 ships now to their 5. I see this other Arkansas beta. Gonna take a shot at him. And there I go. Forgetting on house glow, so many ships actually move and just do 2,000 damage. Now the other thing with the Arkansas beta, it is kind of reasonable to just use HE in this ship because your AP, well, per shell doesn't do a lot. It's when they all connect is when they do a lot. But you could use HE on this and still do very well. It's just, you know, you're a battleship. You should be using AP. Even on a target that is like this, if you just know where and how, and if dispersion doesn't kill you, you can get some nice, solid, good chunk hits on them. And as you can see there, I just didn't hit anything. I'm up to 35 hits already. 13 secondary hits, 2 fires from my secondaries, 4 cap defenses, 2 incapacitations, 1 citadel, and 1 ship gone. So at this point, I'm going to try to cap C, because I'm not sure how much longer those guys up north are going to be able to hold out. And as you can see, that's really not the best dispersion at all. And and I get 1 bounce. Now the battleship on B, well, if anybody's remotely intelligent and shooting at him, he will never cap B, because you could just sit there and reset it all day long. Now with the position that I took to try to dominate C, kind of leaves me a little bit out of this fight to help out anybody up north. But it still gives me in a very good position to help mop up this one last lone battleship down here. And as you can see, he's backing up. I don't know why he's backing up so far. I'm assuming he did pull a Notzer and run aground. But as you can see, he's going to start pulling forward. And that's how I was shooting. And, yep, I was just way premature on him to actually get his ship moving forward. Once again, lower tiers kind of misjudged some of their speeds and their actual abilities more. I believe this was my 2nd game that I played in the day in the beta, so I was still kind of getting used to it while completing the ARP missions. Taking another shot at the Arkansas beta. Ooh, almost 5,000 damage. Not going to argue too much with that. Now, I mean, I know I can never catch him, but at the same time, I know he can never run away from me. I'm looking to see what I can see, if there's anything inside B. There's nothing that I can see there. I also noticed that the St. Louis was shooting AP at the beta, and at this point, I try to tell him to use HE to try to get the fires going. Now, that's what I was saying about, like, you know, anybody who has a lot of games under their belt, and here comes this salvo into the beta, and 10,000 damage. Phew. Not going to argue with penetrating strikes that get me damage done like that. But as I was saying, if you have the knowledge, and if you see somebody who's making a noob mistake, try to help them out and inform them. My thing with why I'm not as active in chat as I could be or should be is my typing skills are horrendous. Probably worse than my commentaries being mostly monotone. Take another shot at him, incapacitate a gun, and only do 27,000 damage. So at this point, chat is trying to help out the St. Louis again on what ammo type you should be shooting at what targets. Somebody didn't realize that it was already shooting HE as I'm closing the distance on this beta, and this guy's not long for the life. There are just one too many ships shooting at him, and he just does not have any support down here. Even I'm shooting HE at him, and oof, 2 fires and he's gone. And then there's the enemy clumps in the last DD. And that's what I was saying about the beta can actually use HE and actually get very good damage done to it instead of AP. Now,
The ship is on fire.
I, at the time, did not realize that the DD had died and thought he was still alive in a smoke cloud, which is why they had the HE still loaded. I wasn't going to swap out the AP when I was when I killed the Arkansas beta to get to shoot a AP at the DD. I was just going to shoot the HE at him and then reload it after I shot. Now, I'm still determined that that guy's still alive in the smoke, even though he's been dead for now for at least a minute. And that's when he says, you know, that he's he's not around anymore. And that's when I realized I am now sailing a little bit too far away from my teammates. And I believe the guy asked like what type of ammo he should be using at what types of ship. I didn't catch that initially, but I was just letting him know you use HE on destroyers. Pull up my heel, finally get the head out of the butt, and I'm moving on towards Bravo because I finally realized this guy's dead, and I've been sailing, just sightseeing, still haven't found any whales or dolphins to shoot at. But as you can see, the chat here is trying to help out on explaining what the guy should use, and unfortunately nobody's really giving him the old rule of thumb, or just the general rule of thumb of if you're in a battleship, you just shoot AP all day long. If you're in a cruiser, you can use AP on other cruisers and HE on battleships and destroyers. And if you're in a DD, you just shoot HE all day long. And I think that's what the gentleman in the St. Louis was asking about. And I'm in the process of typing that out and letting him know. But, you know, that general rule is even good for, like, the higher tiers. It's just, by the higher tiers, you should start to understand how AP works and the advantages and disadvantages between HE and AP at what ship, what angle, what distance, when to use what ammo, and for what time. Because sometimes you just still see, you're starting to see some of these guys who have failed their way to the top, just not knowing what is the best ammo type. But as you can see, I put into the all chats the old rule of thumb there, and then I let him know. I said, you know, when you get into higher tiers, you know, things will change. You know, there are times when a DD should be shooting AP over HE. And then I run into the friendly Kaiser, and I'm like, you know what, I'm just not going to turn because I'll either beach myself which is the last thing I wanted to do because this ship is painfully slow. And unfortunately, you guys have to listen to me babble because I put myself out of position so early. But it was, as we can see here, I've got 61 shell hits, 13 secondaries, 4 fires, 4 cap defense, 3 incapacitations, 1 citadel still, and I'm up to 2 ships sink. And it is a 4v3. We have the ship advantage, and that we have 1 extra. They have the 2 caps, but they are still behind on points because we've held A and C for so long. And that is why I say you just get A and C. If the enemy team wants to go for B, now they are all stuck in a crossfire from everybody from C and B. Now, I know it's a German battleship, but I know the only way I'm going to get Citadel is from distance anyways, and he is relatively angled, and he's already on fire. And you know what? He's only got 1 fire, and if this guy is smart, he will let it burn. So I did not want to shoot HE and potentially start another fire for him to put that fire out. I wanted the 1 fire to just burn for whoever set it. So it's full burn damage. I think that's a thing I don't see a lot of people do. As far as when they see that somebody's got 1 fire, oof, 5,000 damage, and that's what I'm saying. AP can still do very good damage on a target that is not showing his broadside. But if I had fired HE and gotten another fire, and his damage control was up and he used it, all of that potential damage that could have been there would have been gone because he used his damage control. But because the 1 fire burn, it took out, you know, so much more damage because he let it burn instead of taking it out. And I aimed a little bit too high, only 830 damage. Now, I mean, like I said, I didn't know if he did, but at this point, maybe I should have switched to HE to burn this guy, but there still are 2 more ships unaccounted for right now. The one was, I believe at D4 was his last spot, so I wanted to keep AP loaded in case he popped up. I could at least potentially see his broadside. Now the other enemy did pop up briefly in the little islands there at about E8 approximately. But I'm just going to keep pushing this guy because I feel confident in enough that I can take this guy. I've got the health advantage. I know I have the health advantage. I'm not sure, you know, if this guy is new or not, but he's at least smart enough not to show me his broadside. But on a 1v1, I feel like I can take this guy. I have all the advantages in this fight more than he does. He's running around in real estate. I still have a lot of room to maneuver around in, to where he doesn't, to where he's going to have to start coming at me and showing me his side to be getting more shots. I swing my ship to get everything. He's nose on. I take a shot with the HE. And oof, 2 fires. Get Confederate. And now I know that this guy's damage control is going to be out. There is no way he's going to let 2 fires burn. And with that, I get Confederate and finally get over 100,000 damage, which is really what I was kind of hoping for at this point of the game, because this game, for the most part, is over. The enemy aren't going to win. Take another shot, and oof. Not a lot of damage, but that's the other thing, you know, even AP into that superstructure can do damage. But the thing with the battleships is your dispersion usually is so bad, and when the target's not giving you a lot of real estate to shoot at, most of your shells are going to hit. It's only going to be 1 or 2 shells that hit. Now at this point, I should have switched to AP because he's going to start showing me his side. But I wanted to at least get a fire going, and I did switch to AP, but I should have had it preloaded. And yes, thank you secondaries for getting me high caliber and another fire. So now I know this guy is burning. This game is quickly ramping up in time. And of course, we bring it home. And now we're going to have a look at the post-battle results. 100,000 damage done, close to 3,000 experience, almost 300,000 in credits. Got a Confederate high caliber. 2 ships sent to the bottom of the sea. Number 1 on a team with a 1,300 base experience. And as you can see, most of my damage came from my AP, which is almost 100,000. Secondaries, another 3,000. And fires at 8,000. As you can see, I made a good chunk of money. I would just like to say thank you guys for all the support you've been giving us. Please send those replays into the email address. And have a great day. Oh, hit that like and subscribe button.